You have to fight first, and God will help you. The speech you are about to listen to is the single speech that made France, through ECOWAS and the West, to want to take out Captain Ibrahim Traoré right now. This fierce speech ripped the mask off imperialism, exposing the West's many decades-long sabotage and calling on Africans to fight for real sovereignty. Traoré didn't just name the enemy, he laid bare their entire playbook, from manufactured terror to economic strangulation. He shattered the old illusion that Africans must forever beg or obey. And he made it clear, this continent will no longer be a playground for imperialists. This definitely angered them to the core, and now we see their moves and tactics to try to take out Traoré. This speech will fire you up. Have a listen, and please share your thoughts with us all in the comments section. This is Uplifting Africa. Comrades, I would like us to give thanks to God who has shown us this day and who has allowed us to gather here. Let us pay homage to our FDS and our valiant VDP who are fighting on the front lines, and it is thanks to them that we can gather here to commune. Let us also pay homage to you, those who have been nicknamed the Watchmen.
He wasn't born into power. He wasn't raised in the halls of luxury. Ibrahim Traoré came from a small village in Burkina Faso, one of the poorest countries in the world, yet a land rich in gold and history. From a young age, he would sit under the trees, watching his people suffer, and ask himself a simple question. Why are we still poor when our land is so rich? He didn't grow up dreaming of presidency. He didn't aspire to be famous. He joined the army with a humble desire to serve and protect. But as he rose through the ranks, he saw the truth up close. Corrupt politicians selling out the country's wealth, foreign powers draining the land's resources, and a government that had no will to stand for its own people. Burkina Faso, like many other African nations, was trapped, held hostage by poverty, terrorism, and the silent control of former colonial powers. By 2022, the country was on the brink of collapse. People were desperate, leadership had failed, and then something unexpected happened: a military coup. At just 34 years old, Captain Ibrahim Traoré stepped forward and seized power, not to become a dictator, but to give his people a chance. Most thought he would follow the same path as those before him, but within days he proved he was nothing like the others. He told French forces to leave. He cut ties with exploitative foreign contracts. He said boldly, "Burkina Faso will no longer be a slave to anyone." In a continent where speaking up can cost you your life, Ibrahim spoke louder than anyone. He nationalized gold and mineral resources, making sure the wealth stayed with the people. He visited villages, walked with ordinary citizens, and promised them something they hadn't heard in years: hope. The Western media didn't like this. They called him a military strongman, a threat to democracy. But on the ground in Burkina Faso, people were calling him something else: the Liberator. Children in schools began drawing his picture. Streets echoed his name. In markets and mosques, people said, "He is the son we've waited for." And they meant it. He didn't stop there. Traoré helped form an alliance with neighboring African countries like Mali and Niger. Together, they began to build what he called a new sovereign Africa. An Africa not dependent on the West. An Africa ready to stand tall. He once said, "If we must die for this, we will. But we will not die kneeling." They tried to assassinate him. There were coups plotted against him. Fake videos were circulated online. He became a target, not just by enemies within, but by the global system that felt threatened by a young African man who refused to bow. But every attack only made him stronger. Every threat only made his people rally behind him harder. He didn't have to demand loyalty. He had already earned it. In one of his most famous speeches, he stood before a crowd and said, Even if I die, my soul will live in every cry for justice across this land. I am not afraid because I am not alone. My people stand with me. And that's what changed everything. Ibrahim Traoré is not just a soldier, not just a president. He has become a symbol of defiance, a symbol of independence, a symbol of what can happen when one man dares to fight the system for his people. Today, he is loved by millions and feared by those who used to pull the strings in silence. Some call him a hero, others call him a threat. But love him or hate him, he is rewriting the story of Africa, one brave step at a time. And that is the story of Ibrahim Traoré.